Hey guys, FormulaX26 here, and welcome back to highlights of FormulaXbox. And it's been a while since we've done one of these. Last time out in Baku when I raced, um, I didn't end well. Basically, I crashed, and so we haven't raced since then. And we're now back here in Germany. Now as a full-time driver in the Banana, and as you can see, we've got an intermediate qualifying, and we've absolutely bottled turn one. But we were one of the last cars across the line. I think someone managed to sneak over behind us, even though we literally crossed it with 1 second left. So, not ideal that. We wanted to be the last across the line, but we may not have achieved that. But even if we were, we've absolutely bottled this. As you may have seen, our turn one was horrendous, and our delta's red compared to a time we set in much worse conditions earlier in the session. And we've now got it to green, as I think it was elusive Kev behind us, but there's a lot of wheel spin off the hairpin. This really hasn't been a very good lap as we now head through this corner. Is it going to be flat? Yeah, it was actually, as we now head on the brakes down towards this left-hander. Missing the apex a little bit and getting a bit of oversteer on the exit. Once again, not controlling the car very well in these wet conditions, more oversteer through there. And even though we are 3 or so tenths up, this has been a very poor lap as we now head into sector 3. Taking too much speed in there, we're in the gravel, and there goes any chance we had of improving drastically. Few corners left now through the left-hander there. We've negotiated that quite well, but a lot of oversteer on that curve as we now head into the final 2 corners. Missing the apex for the penultimate corner, and now the final corner. We've got all over the curb there. We're going to run wide on the exit, have to run off track to save the back end, and we've improved by 14 thousandths. Didn't improve our position, and we absolutely bottled a huge chance to go quicker there. And as you can see, down in 9th there, it's the Mighty Midget who takes pole, and headed through Amazement, Geston Zinker, Nor in 4th, Menley 5th, Kung Fu Kenny 6th, my teammate Jewish Lewis in 7th, Galvanic Gamer in 8th, and myself in 9th, just ahead of Drastic Midget there, who rounds out the top 10. So yeah, not ideal for us, 9th place, probably going to get killed at the hairpin on that one, but it's not disastrous. It could be much worse. We could be right at the back. As you can see, game giving us soft, medium. We'll switch to medium and the soft, but I'm not going to bother to do that on the strategy screen. I'll just do it on the fly. No rain predicted, although it does look pretty overcast, but we should be okay with that one as we now head towards the formation lap, which we will set off for now. And 19 people in this lobby, so quite, oh my god, Drastic Devil deciding that he doesn't want to do the formation lap properly, just zooming down the middle of the grid, yeah. But yeah, quite a full lobby here, 19 people, do get quite good turnouts in FormulaXbox, and again, we have one of these, so we'll be hoping to try and keep it as clean as possible on lap 1, and hoping other people do the same, and there's not too much carnage, because obviously we don't want to be using our front wing or wheel or anything like that, but coming onto the grid now, we've gone through Vapid Coot, Geston Zink has gone through us, and we're going to pull up onto 9th on the grid. Galvanic Gamer ahead of us on the grid has gone for the mediums. Some people have gone for the super soft, which is stupid in my opinion, because it's not worth using them really. I think most people have gone for the softs, a couple of mediums and a couple of super softs. But anyway, we have the lights now. It's 4 lights, it's 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for the German Grand Prix. We should get a better start than Galvanic on the soft tyres, but his start with the traction controls pretty good. Are we going to be able to hang it around the outside of turn 1, leave him space on the apex, but we've managed to just swing it around the outside there. So we're up into P8 already. Not too much carnage by the looks of things as we now head down towards turn 2. Quite early on the brakes there, just being cautious, but we hang it around the outside of Galvanic nicely there as we head through to the end of sector 1. On the DRS straight, no DRS yet. There's a yellow flag as someone spun out in the background. Galvanic looking on the back of us, but he doesn't seem to be able to gain, despite the fact the slipstream is very OP here. Meanwhile, Jewish Lewis is having an absolute party ahead, lagging all over the place. Galvanic's chucked it up the inside with the ABS, what a surprise, but we've managed to hang it around the outside. Meanwhile, Melanie and Kung Fu Kenny have run quite wide there. We're going to maybe get the move done on Melanie and Kung Fu Kenny down here as we head into the Mercedes grandstand here, but surely we can't go around the outside of the manor there, and we can't. But we did get the position on Melanie, who is squeezed out on the exit of the hairpin. Meanwhile, I'm very scared of Jewish Lewis. He's quite laggy, it must be said, and obviously lag on this game often causes crashes which could lose front wings or wheels. It's been quite a big problem in FormulaXbox, especially when you have the full grid, that there's a lot of lag. But if we can stay clear of Jewish Lewis, we should be okay, but at some point I'm going to be hoping to pass him, which means we are going to have to be near him. As you can see, I actually knocked my camera there. Luckily it didn't fall off or anything. But yeah, Coming through turn 1, we've nailed that, not cutting it at all. Melanie took a bit more speed through there, so maybe he was more aggressive than I was. As we now head down towards turn 2 once again. I'm not expecting to be passed into the hairpin. Kung Fu Kenny may have a look at Julius Lewis, we'll have to wait and see, but we have the slipstream as well, so we shouldn't be passed by Melanie, although we are slightly further back than I would like. I'm not going to be in the position to make the most of it, but as you can see, the slipstream is ridiculous, the closing speed outrageous, but nothing we were able to do there, as Kung Fu Kenny's not able to get the move done either. But yeah, slipstream not too bad on 2017 from what I've heard, so hopefully we won't see any ridiculous cases. We've missed our braking point there, chucked up the inside of Julius Lewis, and I apologise to my teammate there. Poor driving on my part, and Kung Fu Kenny's able to get the switch back and pass both of us, so yeah, that was my bad, and luckily we didn't cause an incident thanks to Julius Lewis for seeing me coming and giving me the space that my car needed. Yeah, so not great for the Renault team there. I've just screwed my teammate over, but we'll go with it. We'll see if we can try and get back past the man. And meanwhile, his car is still extremely laggy, and I'm worried that he is just going to lag back into me. I'll lose my front wing, and that's pretty much GG. But yeah, DRS now enabled. Nothing really doing into turn 2, although Julius Lewis is very slow. He's cut the corner there. Which isn't good, and got our first warning of the race, which is a waste of a warning, really. You shouldn't be getting it for things like that. But now the DRS is on, Julius Lewis is surely going to be able to pass Kung Fu Kenny, as he is lagging all over the place once again as we head down to the hairpin, but no. Or maybe, yes, he's broken later than the manner. Can he hook it up around the outside? Yes, he can. Good move there from the Portugueseman in the Renault, and now skipping to the start of lap 4, it's going to be our turn to try and have a look on the manner of Kung Fu Kenny. We've left Melanie behind a little bit. Kung Fu Kenny is going defensive into turn 2. We're going to try and have a look around the outside. A bit of contact there, but not really an issue. And that's compromised our exit through turn 3 quite a lot as we now head down the DRS straight. Are we going to be able to gain enough to have a look into the braking zone? It doesn't look like it. The slipstream doesn't appear to be that powerful. He's going defensive. And then moves back across on our line, which is fantastic. But once again, no chance for an overtake there, and we hold position in P7. May I point out Kung Fu Kenny's on the supers, so he'll have to do 2 medium stints if he wants to do a 2-stop. Anyway, skipping to lap number 5 now, Kung Fu Kenny's gone up the inside of Julius Lewis and he's smashed into him there. We're able to get the cut back, and finally we can get rid of those 2 and get after the rest of the pack. That's cost us a lot of time. If you look at the mini-map, you can see how far ahead the top 4 are, which I think is the Amazement, Nor the Dragon, Sinan and the Mighty Midget, as we now head through here. And there's yellow flag, and that's because Nor's actually binned it off the curb. He's in the wall, he's out the race there, and that promotes us up into P4. But the question is now, are we going to have a safety car from that? Luckily, I've managed to just get past my teammate Julius Lewis, so I will have the preference. And indeed, we do now have a safety car as we here on lap 5. I don't even know what I'm saying. I apologise for that. But yeah, everyone will dive into the pits unless you're on the mediums, I would assume. And we're going to put on a set of mediums. Hopefully this won't hinder our race too much, as I paused it for some reason there. Probably thought I was going to speed or something, so that's always good. But oh well, we'll move on. Didn't really gain me anything or lose me anything, as we've got Kung Fu Kenny in the pits ahead of us. But we've now come out of the pits and we're slightly further down the field than we should be, because a couple of people stayed out. And as you can see now, safety car carnage. It's parked on the apex. I slam on the brakes and managed to cock it up really to avoid hitting the safety car. And at this point, I only just realised that it's allowed us to pass. Meanwhile, banter's kicking off. People have been given illegal overtakes, and people are getting disqualified. I'm not sure if we're allowed to pass the safety car. I passed Melanie there, which you're not allowed to do apparently. Drastic Midget, Geston Zinka and the Amazement are all being disqualified, which is pretty funny. And I still don't know if I can pass the safety car. I passed it really cautiously. Now I've realised that you can. I've absolutely cocked it up, but at this point I'm on Twitter. There needs to be a restart here, as we've managed to get back past Canaries, who must have had an illegal overtake on the safety car. So we're in 9th there, but obviously this is a restart. I would assume at this point in the party, Sam and I were saying that this should be a restart. And as we head on to the next lap, lap 7, we've actually been smashed up the arse by Canaries under the safety car, so that's always good. Luckily, it doesn't affect me, but at this point, a restart is being discussed in the chat. I'm driving whilst on Twitter, and as you can see, I've managed to get myself in legal overtake. Not particularly sure what Jewish Lewis and Bottas were doing there, but we've actually been able to keep the position on Ollie Bob, so that's really good. But I'm not going to complain. We're up into P6, is it? Oh no, P8. P8, but this race doesn't matter anymore because at this point a restart has been announced. Norris left the session, someone's in the pits, and I've just decided I'm going to start wiping people out. So Melanie's going slowly, he's on pause, probably leaving the session, and it's just carnage really. But I've left this in because you can want to see me smashing out Melanie, and I'm sure Melanie will appreciate that as well if he's watching. So at this point I've decided Melanie is my target, I'm going to wipe him out. So there he is, and we're going to smash him up the arse and rip. But yeah, apologies to Melanie, or not really, but we got a stop go, not deserved. He clearly turned in on me, and we'll now be heading to one-shot qualifying. And we've decided to rig the weather so it's intermediates, which means this is going to be a really fun qualifying. Again, I missed the apex of turn 1 by about 6 kilometres, and I've run wide there, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. I lost so much time there. Meanwhile, people are getting disqualified everywhere for cheating and cutting or extending properly. I think Sinan's been disqualified, among Drastic Midget and some others. But yeah, we're basically last at this point as we head through the first sector split now, heading down towards the hairpin. Can we nail the braking zone? Probably not. It's not been that bad actually. So yeah, down into the hairpin now, getting the car rotated, getting on the throttle, lots of wheel spin again because we don't know how to drive in the rain apparently. And flat out through here, yep, just about once again as we head down towards turn 8 I believe. We've actually done that quite well, not too much wheel spin on the exit as we now head through this difficult corner, very difficult with traction control off in the wet, but we've managed to do it quite nicely as we head into sector 3. Are we going to go in the gravel again? Yep, we've gone balls deep into the gravel that time. My driving has been pretty spectacular in both of these qualifying sessions. So at this point I'm expecting to be outside the top 10, to be honest with you, as we now head through the final 2 corners of the lap. Can we do it better than we did on the first attempt? It'd be hard to do it worse, to be honest, and we've actually done those 2 corners quite nicely as we head to the line. This time the Amazement takes pole, we're miles off, but as you can see, people have been disqualified left, right and centre, and we're actually in position 7, so that's nice. We're actually higher up in the grid than we were last time. I also noticed that I had about 6 laps of fuel on board, which clearly cost me pole there. Obviously, a lot of time was lost by those extra laps of fuel. But yeah, it's 7th for us with the Amazement on pole, Nor in 2nd and Midget in 3rd. Sinan getting disqualified because he track extended turn 1, I believe, and will be in P7. So higher up than last time, so hopefully it'll be better for us once again. We don't get held up by carnage. We're ahead of Kung Fu Kenny this time. It's lights out and away we go. Didn't bother with the formation lap. But this time we're behind Ollie Bob, so we need to make sure we get rid of him quickly. Kung Fu Kenny up there inside, giving plenty of space. A very clean turn 1 actually, at least at the front. Not sure if there's any carnage at the back. It didn't look too bad actually. So yeah, heading into turn number 2 now, and it's just nice and calm really. Good driving from the whole field at the start of this race. We only have 18 for this race, so someone clearly gave up after the first one, as we're now in the slipstream of Ollie Bob, heading down towards the hairpin here. He's on the inside of Galvanic Game, and we're going to brake nice and early, although we still managed to get very close to Galvanic, even touching his gearbox there, as Ollie Bob actually gets the move done up into P5. But we've got a fantastic exit off the hairpin, and we're going to go side by side with the Williams driver down towards turn number 8. Can we hold it around the outside? We're clear of him, but no, he sticks his nose up the inside, almost gets spun out there, but we were clear of him when we turned into the corner, and he was just unnecessarily chucking his nose up the inside. That wasn't going to work, and we're now up into P6. So good start once again. We've gained a place on that one, and this time there's not a battling pair in front of us, which we're going to really struggle to get past. It's only Ollie Bob, and then we can be off after the top 4, which I assume consists of Midget, Nor, the Amazement and Melanie. As you can see, Ollie Bob really slow through the final corner. We need to get rid of him as soon as possible. Joe sets the fast lap of the race. We're weaving around everywhere because Ollie Bob's annoying us. He's run wide at turn 1. He's decided to avoid the DRS board, and that's an easy move for us. We're up into P5, and yes indeed, it's Melanie in P4. So good start for us. We haven't got any damage or anything, and we're in a very good position as there's green flag for some reason. I assume someone spun out. and we're in a very good position to fight for the podium. The Mighty Midget obliterates turn 1 now as we skip on to lap 5, as our pace has actually been really good as we close up to a lot into turn 2. This is the only track really on the game that the wheel is slower, but I'm managing to compete with the Mighty Midget, who's a very fast pad user on the game, so I'm pretty happy with my pace. Not usually one of my preferred tracks, but it's looking good as we now get the DRS on Midget. We pull across to the racing line quite late, but I think that's all fair, to be honest, and we've managed to get the move done. Midget just dropping out the DRS of Nor and Melanie. And as you can see, skipping to the next lap, our pace is once again good enough, and we take turn 1 nice and cleanly there, which has cost us. We were a bit too cautious there, and we've lost a bit of time as we head down towards turn number 2 now. Nor defending from the Finn in the Mercedes, but I assume he's going to get past Nor very easily under the DRS as they now go side by side down the straight, and Melanie's well clear of the Dragon. We're going to go past as well. That's how much the overspeed was with the DRS. And we get the move done, do we? Into the hairpin. We're going to be side by side on the exit. Nor getting the better exit actually with the outside line, which should be expected. We're going to go side by side through turn 7. And Nor's just moved across on there. There's contact. We're in the wall. And it's game over. Absolutely disastrous for us there. Nor just moving, getting a slight twitch through turn 7, which put us into the wall. And I wasn't very happy with it. We got it investigated, and Nor did get an quali ban for the next race, but obviously I understand Nor's a clean racer most of the time, and that was just an honest mistake. But yeah, that's unfortunate. No points for us today in Germany. Results on screen. The Amazement took the win. It says Galvanic Gamer came second, but he got a penalty from the stewards for doing poor defending or something. So Melanie came second and Sinan came third, something like that. It's on the screen now. Championship standings will be on the screen in a minute. Joe's winning from Melanie in second, and Sinan in third, I think, once again. And as you can see, we're down in 11th, but just behind the Mighty Midget. So hopefully we can get back past him in Belgium. But that's been it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon for the F1 League Brazil or Belgium in FormulaXbox. Goodbye.